I honestly did not plan to make this video at all, but in light of some recent news involving one of the members in the studio, it's something I feel like I have to talk about at this point. I'm not going to go into all these events in depth since many others have and did it way better than I ever could. This is just me sharing my personal thoughts on the matter. I'm not good at these kinds of things, so just bear with me here. I love Kyoto Animation, as do a lot of people. I think when it comes to anime, this is the studio I think of that just takes it to the next level. Their projects manage to scream so much passion and life with every frame drawn. An anime from them can manage to speak to you personally in some shape or form and capture what life truly means while still remaining an imaginative and captivating experience. I don't love all of their stuff I've watched, but honestly it's unreal to me how many of the studio's works I ended up adoring for its visuals, storytelling, and interesting, likable characters. I admire this studio not only for the stuff they make, but also how the people in it work together. Reading and looking into behind the scenes, KyoAni seems to be above most animation studios when it comes to their business practices and core values. Most of you are probably aware of this, but animators get it rough. They are forced to meet a very strict deadline, all while doing their best to make what they're working on as visually sound as possible, only for them to not really be paid that much. A lot of the time, the final cut isn't even what they envisioned to be when storyboarding, which is sadly normal and something we just have to accept at this point. KyoAni was different, however. Instead of rushing things out to meet a deadline and overworking these passionate people, they instead thrive to be efficient while letting storyboarders and animators take their time with their art while getting paid their full salary. Not only that, but they're allowed to take breaks in order to ease their spirits and encourage them to push forward no matter how big the project may be. Even while working, the employees manage to bond not only as a group of passionate individuals, but as a family, which is why a lot of KyoAni projects really push the theme of friendship and family. These passionate animators bonded, joked around, worked together, and triumphed to make what they could possible. This wasn't only a company, this was a community that pushed the animation industry forward and inspired many beginners in animation to push into a career. However, on July 18th, 2019, something absolutely devastating happened. Studio 1 of Kyoto Animation suffered through an arson attack. It was caused by a man named Shinji Aoba, who set the building on fire with 40 liters of gasoline. 36 of KyoAni's employees were killed and 34 were injured, including the suspect himself. He, along with the injured, was taken to the hospital and revealed that he set the building on fire as an act of revenge and claimed that the studio ripped off his novels and put his material into one of their projects. This proved to be false, however, as KyoAni responded saying that they had received a draft novel from him, but it didn't even pass the first stage assessment and was ultimately forgotten about. The man soon recovered after rehabilitation and was sent to prison for multiple charges and murder. All of this was really hard to take in, not only for fans, but especially the people at KyoAni themselves. The employees that were killed for this studio were the equivalent of their own family members being killed. This family was disintegrated, hurt, and traumatized. It got to the point where the studio couldn't even work on or release anything for a good while because they simply couldn't at the mental state they were in. A beacon of light was decimated, their home was destroyed, and many big names who worked on really popular projects that entertained thousands were gone. These passionate, kind, hardworking people had to die and suffer all because a man was so petty and so insane that he destroyed many lives, and when he found out how many people passed away because of what he did, all he could say was, "Oh, is that so? Disgusting." Honestly, this man deserves to be punished and paid for his actions by going through a very cruel death, but it's honestly more fitting for him just to rot in jail and live with what he did. And what's more sad is, I bet the people at KyoAni don't even wish any of that on him and have to live with what happened. I am so sorry to the individuals at KyoAni who had to suffer through all of this trauma, and to the people who were killed. I hope the people that have passed are in a better place. None of you deserve this. Lastly, I want to get into why I'm making this video in the first place. This one is more personal, but I promise it very much relates to the matter at hand. Very recently, it was announced that one of the staff members at KyoAni, that being Naoko Yamada, has directed a project at the studio of Science Saru, which also means that Yamada had officially left KyoAni after everything that had happened. To keep it brief, Naoko Yamada was one of the biggest inspirations at KyoAni, going from doing some key animations on a few projects to directing some of the most influential anime of Kyoto Animation. She always had a hard time communicating her ideas when it came to working on stuff, but Kyoto Animation was where she was able to show what she was truly capable of and become a shining star after starting so small. I'm not gonna act like her leaving KyoAni is the biggest travesty in all this, which is very much not the case. place. In fact, I'm glad she was able to recover it all and continue to strive forward. But even when I found out this news, I was honestly very torn and saddened. More than I was already when I learned about the Arson Attack. Yamada is honestly my favorite contributor to Kyoto Animation, and her career not only inspires me, but her two works, KyoAni and A Silent Voice, stick with me. I watched these two gems in 2020, which was the year I was honestly struggling the most in my life, not only because of the pandemic, which was the year I got into KyoAni in general. KyoAni taught me the importance of embracing the people in your life that care about you, and A Silent Voice conveyed the power of simply loving yourself so that you can help and love others. I was struggling so much throughout the year, and watching these two masterpieces was one of the factors that, in a way, kind of saved my life. Naoko Yamada never even planned to leave KyoAni as she felt at home there, and it was the studio where she completely found her footing. But due to everything that had happened, it seems like leaving was the option she needed to take in order to keep healing and thriving, and I respect that a lot in all honesty. It's just really sad that she and many others left the studio all because one man killed and injured many of their friends over petty bullshit. To see someone whose work most demonstrated KyoAni as a studio, being part of a community, working and having fun with others, and making sure others were at the perfect mental state to move forward, have to leave because of something none of them asked for, just hurts. It makes me wish I got to experience KyoAni much earlier, to see these amazing people get better and better with every project they made, especially Yamada. Even with all of that said though, I'm more than happy that Yamada is continuing to work on stuff, even if she's not at Kyoto Animation anymore. If anything, making this decision could be the best for her and broaden her horizons as a director, animator, and storyboard artist. I will watch at least one episode of her new project, and I cannot wait to see what she does in the future. With all of that being said, I don't enforce it, but I ask if you haven't already, watch at least one thing made by KyoAni. It could be a show, a movie, whatever, but please, even if you don't like anime, I ask you to watch at least one thing from them. Find what looks appealing to you from the studio and experience it. I promise you won't regret it. Despite all of what happened, however, one thing has been made very clear recently. Kyoto Animation is back and stronger than ever. It took a while and we weren't even sure of it, but KyoAni recovered and are back to doing production once more. The studio held a memorial ceremony in honor of those who passed, and on July 7th of this year, they released the new OP and ED for the second season of Miss Kobayashi, and two beautifully animated commercials from the new people working at the studio now. The stuff made by the new staff members now working there are very clearly made with a lot of dedication and passion. They are already representing what makes the studio amazing, and I can tell how much they want to strive. It's as if these new members were always working at the studio the whole time. All of this with KyoAni's new slogan, inspiration for the future. It's very clear that even with everything that has happened, Kyoto Animation still embodies what makes them amazing, and they're showing all of this now more than ever. Even if we're not sure exactly what they're gonna do next, the future for them is looking much brighter, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for them next. KyoAni, you have made an impact on mine and many others' lives with your work. You've shown how much of an experience working on animation can truly be, even through all the struggles. I may not have been able to experience what you have done in the past, but I am happy that I get to experience your future and watch you thrive moving forward. You are truly an inspiration for the future. Thank you, Kyoto Animation.